Hi everyone, welcome to the Shooting Lone Star with Ram and myself. Hi bro, how are you?
What's going on, Ami? Good to see you. It's been a hell of a week. Exciting.
Yeah,
So,
good to see you too. So let's get into the Brentford game. Great result for us. Really important 3 points. Two really good goals. What are your thoughts on the game?
man, we deserved the win. I think we dominated possession in the first half. It was just an all-out dominant win. I think we should have been up 5-0. I think there was definitely some good misses. I can't remember exactly. I think Laka might have missed another one. But there was some penalties, and I hate to like harp on penalties and refereeing so much, but definitely saw a few. I think Pepe got kicked, and I even Laka got kicked early on in the game, where like in the box, and that should have been a penalty. And I think they even went to VAR. So I think with all that, should have been 5-0. Should have been a clean sheet. The goal they got at the end was a real weird one, kind of fluky. So I wasn't like too upset about it. The final score line makes it seem like it was closer than it actually was. Uh, and 2-0 was just, we dominated the whole game. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, it looks like it was closer than it was if you look at the score 2-1, but it was quite a comfortable win. First half, a little bit difficult, you know, but once we got that first goal, Brentford didn't really create much. We got the second goal, we were cruising. They got that late goal, but I thought it was a dominant victory. Really good
Mhm.
performance from the attack and defense. I was happy with our attacking the 10. Defense was really good, solid, limiting them to a few chances. And yeah, I agree about the referee, some poor decisions. You know, it's been like that in recent times. We're getting some really poor decisions from the referee. Luckily, this time there was no red card. And luckily, again, this time the decisions didn't cost us the 3 points. And it's a really important 3 points. Really good performance from Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka. Who was your man of the match?
I'm gonna give it to Thomas Partey. I thought, like, first of all, like his assist to Saka was just amazing. Like, I think just the way he held the ball just long enough and then passed it to Saka at a point where all Saka had to do was just take one touch. Maybe he took a dribble, but then just hit it into the goal, man. Like, I thought that was sweet. Like, that was just amazing, the whole sequence. But I also thought he played well defensively, and he was, there to kind of distribute the ball off to our front guys, like Odegaard and Saka and Smith Rowe. Like, I think he's finally like finding his role in the team, and I would have given him the man of the match if it were up to me. How about you?
For me, Odegaard, I just thought he was pulling the strings. Just so good to watch him the ball, the way he passes it back.
I'm glad you said Odegaard because I actually even forgot this, but right before the halftime whistle, I
The
guess it was the
dummy.
stoppage time. See the dummy?
I was just
I,
about to
that
say, yeah, that was
that one,
class.
like, I'm at the bar, and I'm asking everybody around me, like, did he do that on purpose? Did he do that on purpose? Because for me, anyways, like, like I said, I'm not really privy to all the nuances and like the just the little tricks that players can do in the game. Like, I'm still picking it up, and like for me, my first impression was, oh, he missed that. But then when he turned around and like ended up like Saka passed it back to him, and he ended up like turning it and passing it back to Saka. That I was just like, that was on purpose, wasn't it? Like, and I was asking everybody, and everybody's like, yeah, that was a dummy. And I was like, oh shit, like that's incredible. And like when I found it online later on in the day, like I just could not stop watching it. It was just incredible. So yeah, I mean, he had some good. He played really well. I think everybody. You can't really pick out somebody who didn't play well. I think everybody pulled their weight. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, Odegaard too. I just think Party does a lot of things that like maybe don't show up in the highlight reels, and for me, like I just pick those up. Like, he just does little things and overpowers other people for the ball, or just holds it. Like I'm saying, he held it just long enough and you can even see Saka on the replay, like kind of like asking for it early on, and Thomas just kind of like said, "No, just hold it just a little bit longer, pass it to him," and then all Saka had to do was just get his feet under him and knock it home, man. So it was incredible. It was incredible, just like by everybody, really.
Yeah, as you said, there was many stand-up performances. One thing, slight negative, is Lacazette didn't score again, and he's
Yeah.
going through quite a drought now. And we really need to see him start scoring. What are your thoughts on his performance?
I think, you know, he did. There was this one play where it didn't result in like a, I don't even think it resulted in a shot, but I just thought it was good heads up play by him. But I think someone kicked the ball deep into our end, and it was kind of up in the air. And I think Laka realized at some point that he wasn't going to, I guess, beat his defender to it, like for a header or whatever. So instead of, he just kind of boxed him out like in basketball. So he just got his body in the way and let the ball kind of drop, and then allowed like a little bit more of a playable ball to kind of get it off to Saka or something like that. Again, it doesn't show up in any score sheet. It's not like, it's not a goal again, but it was just like a really cool heads up play, because and that's something I picked up, because I'm like, oh, like, and they showed the replay and I just remember pointing it out like, oh look, like Lacazette knows he's not going to beat the guy he's going against for the ball, so instead of doing that, he just gets in the way and just kind of puts it, you know, it's just a real heads up play. And I'm thinking, okay, like, yeah, if I were playing soccer, like, I'm not going to be nearly as good as anybody on the field, so I'm just going to do what I can to just kind of get in other people's way. But he needs to score. I mean, he does. I think he does everything but score, man. And he's our striker, and that's what he's paid to do. Right now, I think it's doing. You know, we're getting goals from like the wingers and all that kind of stuff. But you eventually want your striker to do what he's paid to do and strike, right? Hit the goal with a ball. So he needs to step up. Which is why I think, you know, maybe we can touch on a little bit more. I think he might need to maybe have a seat and rest his legs a little bit this next match.
Yeah, we'll go into that when we preview the Wolverhampton game. Before we
Yeah,
get into that, though, let's talk a little bit about our top four rivals. So I remember sitting with you last week, we were talking about Man City playing Tottenham. We are very confident, as many people were, that Man City will win that game. But Tottenham pulled it off. Great victory from them. Played really well. Got to give them credit. Did you see the game?
I watched the first half, and so I saw that it ended 1-1, and then I had to leave, and so I was riding the bus to go get a haircut, and I basically was just watching on my phone app, the FOTMob. Um, and then I watched it actually late last night. I watched the replay just to kind of see the goals. And like the last 20 minutes, man, were so chaotic. It was crazy. And I mean, that just for me, you know, makes just the Premier League is the best league in soccer, maybe in all of sports, right? It's just so competitive top to bottom. And it's not like Tottenham is like a bottom team, but you know, yeah, like we all kind of were looking at this like, oh, this is going to be a Man City smashing, right? Like it's going to be easy for them, but you know, it wasn't the case. And Tottenham, to their credit, stepped up to the plate. Son and Kane kind of had their partnership working pretty well. Could have been, I mean, at one point they were up 3-1, and then a goal got overturned because of VAR, and then Kane still got another one. So I mean, he essentially got a hat trick. I mean, so he was playing with that confidence. I mean, as much as I, you know, as I hate on, you know, players for Spurs, I mean, Harry Kane and Son are just world class, man, and they showed it, and that just shows that you can't, you know, week in and week out, you have to show up to play if you expect to win. And Man City learned the hard lesson. I mean, Spurs did the double on them this year. You know, who would have thought? So they get to hang a banner up this year, you know, over there at Tottenham Stadium, did the double over the champions. So they get to do that at least, you know.
Man City seemed to struggle against Tottenham. You know, they went out to the Champions League a couple of years ago, and yeah, in general, it does seem like it's kind of like their bogey team.
Mhm.
So yeah, that also has made a big difference in the title race now. So Liverpool won their game. It was looking a little bit tricky for them. They were 1-0 down, but then they came through and won it comfortably in the end 3-1. So if they win their games in hand, they'll only be 3 points behind Man City. What's your thoughts on the title race now?
Well, now it's wide open, and there's one game in hand, and then also they play each other one more time. So that's a basically I guess a 6 point swing if you want to be like technical about it. But yeah, I think it's wide open now. Maybe not wide open. I still think maybe it's just going to be it's wide open for Liverpool. So I think Chelsea might still be too far back, and who knows. I'm not really confident in them, even though they won the FIBA World Cup or whatever that the Club World Cup, and they did win today pretty handedly against Lille. I think it's Lille that they were playing. But I think realistically, yeah, Liverpool and Man City are going to maybe have a chance to, or let me start that over. Liverpool's going to have a chance to kind of put their name in the hat in the race for the title. Maybe Chelsea, who knows? But it's wide open. We'll say that, especially because of the one game in hand that they play tomorrow, I think, and then the head-to-head. If everything goes their way, they could be tied in points, and who knows what happens right at that point. So, yeah, and again, that just goes to show, like, it was already exciting, you know, thinking that Man City had it wrapped up, and now that it's a little, it's wide open now. It just makes all the games even more exciting. The last 15 games. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. We want to see a good title race, see Man City run away with it. It's no good as a competition. You'd rather see the title race go down to the wire. So I hope Liverpool can push them right to the end of the season. It's going to be close. Two really good teams. You would say Man City do have the best overall squad, but Liverpool are not far away. And we know Liverpool are able to put together long runs of winning matches. They've done it, they won the league in recent times. So I think Liverpool will push them. And as you were saying, that game, Man City, Liverpool at Etihad, that could be a crucial game for the title winner, deciding who wins
Mhm.
it. So yeah, it's good to see that. And yeah, the top four races really heating up as well. So we talked about our game and Tottenham. West Ham dropped some points against Newcastle. We were saying that
Mhm.
Newcastle are playing better now, and that was a tricky game. Did you see that one?
I watched the highlights, and our former boy, Joseph Willock, scored the equalizer. Um, but yeah, I mean they've been, yeah, like I said, as I mentioned, Newcastle's kind of, they've got some momentum, I guess, from the transfer market in January, and um, they looked. I mean, I only saw the highlights, so I mean they look competitive. It's a good thing that West Ham ended up, dropping points against them. If I'm looking at the title race now, I mean not the title race, the race for top four. Um, I mean it's super tight. I mean, West Ham is, we're tied with West Ham now in points. We're both 4 points behind Man United, but we still got those 3 games in hand. So I mean, it's good. I think anybody ahead of us dropping points is going to be money for us. What do you think?
Yeah, this weekend we saw Man United win as well against Leeds. We saw Wolves win again. So, they're right up there. We're in the best position because of our games in hand situation, but our games in hands are some hard games as well. We know that
Yeah.
we're going to miss this weekend's game against Liverpool because they're playing in the Carabao Cup. So that's going to be a game in hand there. The Tottenham game that got rearranged, that's one of the game in hands. The Chelsea game from last week, because they're on the World Club Championships, we didn't play that one. So that's one of the other games in hand. So in football, as we've seen, the league's so unpredictable. No one could predict Tottenham were going to beat Man City. We've seen the likes of Burnley performing really well in recent times against us and against Man United. They took points off us and Man United recently, and they're bottom of the league. So it's a really difficult league. And yeah, I think it's going to go right down to the wire. It's going to come down to which teams can be most consistent. I think the biggest danger to us is going to be Man United. I think Tottenham, they had a great result, but I think they're more inconsistent than the others. West Ham, I think there's lack of squad depth will go against them. And the worry for me is as well about, we do have a lack of squad depth as well, but we don't have any European football like the others do.
Mhm.
So that does go in our favour to be able to concentrate fully on the top four. it's going to be crucial if we can just make sure we win the games that we are expected to win, the likes of Brentford. We didn't do it against Burnley, but we've done it against Brentford. We beat Wolves away. That was a really important result. If we can beat Wolves in our next game, then we've got Watford coming up, another game we should be winning. So if we can get to a stage where, you know, where we're beating the teams we should be beating, and then the harder games, it takes a bit of the pressure off us. And I'm still confident in the harder games, we'll pick up points. You know, you'd say the difficult ones are going to be Chelsea away and Liverpool at home. And a crucial one could be Man United at home and Tottenham away. So like how them games go is going to go a long way in deciding, you know, what happens with the top four. But we've got to take it game by game.
Yeah,
you know, we can't look too far ahead. So like all focus has to be on the next game, which is Wolves. And yeah, just take it from there. Hope we don't get too many injuries. And if that happens, I'm confident we can get top four. But yeah, Man United to me are the biggest dangers. What about you?
I believe so too. Yeah, they kind of stick out. I mean, I watched that Leeds match against them. It was an exciting game. You know, first you think like, you know, Man United is going to pull it away, and when they went into half 2-0, but it was like ugly weather going on or something. So, and then Leeds came back with those two quick goals, like just out of nowhere, and it was amazing. And I was texting my buddies watching it, and I'm like, you know, this is like an intense match. And then you know, ultimately, I don't think Leeds plays like just at one speed, and you know, you're either gonna like get them, you know, playing a close match against you, or you're just gonna smash them. Like it's just crazy how they're playing, how they play. You know, they're fun to watch, but I don't know if that means that that just hurts their consistency, right? Like the only consistent thing about them is that they're just gonna, like I said, play in one speed. So they ultimately just blew it. And I mean, yeah, I mean United again, they have all the big names. They spend a hell of a lot of money. So I think, but you know, and then again, they're not there's all this drama and controversy going on over there. So yeah, I think it's going to be between Manchester United and Arsenal for that fourth spot. I'm kind of still feeling like everybody's going to start fading away. Tottenham, you know, as you said, inconsistency. You kind of felt like this is just one of those games, like, you know, even like I don't know if you guys have the saying over there in London, but like every blind squirrel is going to find a nut every now and then, right? That's how I felt about that match. Ultimately, I'm like, you know what, you're going to win. You're going to win some of those every now and then. But I just don't think they're consistent enough. And Wolves, they're the scary ones, I think. And so I feel like our match is going to be huge against them. If we can do, you know, complete the double against them, that's going to give us a huge opportunity once these games start. Once we start running out of games and things get a little bit tight at the end.
Yeah, I think it could go down to the last couple of games of the season. I hope it doesn't. I hope, you know, we win a lot of our games coming up and we build a really good lead so we can like be a bit relaxed for the last couple of games of the season, like knowing that we've already qualified. But but just the way it's looking, it's really competitive, and it looks like it will go down to the last couple of games of the season. So before we look ahead to our game coming up against Wolves and the weekend fixtures, there are a couple of big fixtures coming up midweek. So Burnley are playing against Tottenham tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, tomorrow night.
And Burnley being in good form recently, you know, they, like I said, took points off us with a draw here, took points off Man United with a draw at their place, and then they had a good away win the other day as well against Brighton. So yeah, I think it'll be a difficult game for Tottenham. Their confidence will be a lot higher now having beaten Man City, but still it's difficult always to go away to Burnley, and as I say, they're in better form in recent times. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, they are not getting a lot of points. I think they're about to get relegated, right? But they're playing everybody really hard, right? We got lucky to draw against them. I feel like that match that we played against them could have gone either way, and you know, we could have lost that game. So hopefully, you know, they continue those just being that thorn on everybody's side and playing their role well. It's in Burnley, and I do remember when we went to Burnley, the one thing I noticed was the ball moving slow on the turf. On the pitch, it looked like the ball was just moving slow, and I was wondering, like, did they just not water the pitch? Did they water it too much? Did they not cut the grass? Like, what do they do over there in Burnley? Like, it just looks sloppy. So hopefully the weather's shit over there wherever Burnley is, and Tottenham just have a shitty time trying to do well, and hopefully that end up like losing or something like that. That'd be great. Watford is playing Crystal Palace, so like, well, that's not like consequential to us. And then Liverpool is playing Leeds, so that's another one I'll be keeping an eye on too, just because again, Leeds play at one speed, and I like watching them play. And it'd be kind of cool if they would be able to maybe steal some points off of Liverpool, but I highly doubt that. But yeah, the big match is going to be Burnley and Tottenham. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
What's your
But
correct score prediction?
for them, shit, man, it might be like 1-1. I think some goals will happen, but Tottenham maybe are going to still feel that bump off of beating Man City. But hopefully they again do what Spurs do and just blow it. So we'll see what happens. But that last time I said that, they ended up winning. So we'll see. We'll see. I think 1-1 though be a nice result for us, at the very least, a draw. But it'd be nice if they lost as well.
Yeah, let's hope Burnley can do us a favour there. And then there's another big game in the Champions League tomorrow night, Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United. Thoughts on that?
I was talking to my friend who's a big United fan, and I was telling her I do watch a little bit of La Liga, and so Atletico Madrid is very like they're very hot and cold. Like I think they played the last few matches. One of them was against Barcelona, and they just got smashed 4-1. And then they played another team that was like in relegation battle, and they ended up winning 4-3. Like it was just one of those back and forth ones. So who knows what to expect? It is going to be in Spain. I don't know exactly what their stadium is called, but an away game is going to be tough for anybody visiting, especially a team like that in a league like that. So I don't know. I don't know enough about Madrid to even like make a prediction. So I'm kind of hoping. I don't know. I don't know. It's a mixed feeling. Like I want United, a team like United, since they are in a race with us for the top four. I want them to continue to kind of advance in the Champions League, so that they always have those extra games to worry about, so that hopefully can give us some kind of advantage when it comes to head to head. But I also want to talk some shit to my friends who are United fans. So kind of hoping, maybe a draw, maybe a loss, so that, I can talk some shit, but we'll see. It's going to be exciting. Benfica and Ajax play tomorrow too. So a lot of good games in that one window. So I'm going to have to figure something out, try and get all my work done before and after, and just kind of take that time to just have a bunch of screens on for all the matches. What do you think about them? What do you think? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good game. Atletico Madrid and Man United. I saw a goal by Luis Suarez the other day. They were showing it. It was a spectacular goal. Like the ball was passed to him, the keeper had come out, and like Suarez was like really far out, a good 40 yards out, quite close to the halfway line, and yeah, he just buried it with his left foot. Really good finish. And they got some world-class players, Atletico Madrid have, and so do Man United. So it should be a good game. I can see it being either a draw or Atletico Madrid win. But then the second leg, I think Man United will probably progress there. But, it's difficult. As you said, both teams blow hot and cold. It just depends on who turns up best over the two legs. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And in terms of Burnley and Tottenham, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think your 1-1 prediction, I'm going to go with that. It's a good shout for 1-1, that one. It'll be tight because, like I say, Burnley have been in good form. They're home. It won't be easy for Tottenham. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 1-1 with that one. And before we look at our fixture against Wolves, I just wanted to talk to you about the Carabao Cup. So, Liverpool are playing against Chelsea. Don't want to talk about it too much because I wish we were there. We were so close getting to the semi-final. It's disappointing not to be there. But, yeah, it's a big game. I just wanted to ask you your thoughts on that one.
I'll be watching. Like it's always exciting to see, finals, regardless of who's playing. Obviously, it's sweeter when Arsenal's playing. But and then this is also like, I think like this time last year, the Carabao Cup final wasn't in front of any fans because of COVID. So it's actually, I'm pretty excited to kind of see, and I think it's going to be in Wembley, right? So
Yeah,
it'd be kind of cool to see like a like the atmosphere back, all the fans back in Wembley, and it's for a trophy, so we'll see. I won't stick around and watch the trophy ceremony, regardless of who wins. I'm just kind of hoping for some fireworks. I don't really care who wins. I don't know anybody who's a Chelsea fan, like personally, so I'm not gonna pull for them. I know a couple of Liverpool fans, and they're good people, so I'm gonna root for their happiness. So hopefully, you know, it's a good game. It's exciting. Maybe it goes to penalty kicks. Like I always love penalty kicks. I don't know what your thoughts on penalty kicks are, but it always seems to be like a real 50-50 kind of split on the arguments. And I'm on the side that I like them. I just like them. I think at that point, you played 120 minutes of soccer, like you haven't settled it. Let's just go with basically coin flips, crapshoots, whatever you want to call it. Like it's fun. So I kind of hoping we get like a penalty shootout. That would be my big prediction and big like hope. I don't care who wins though. What do you think?
For me, penalties, it's difficult. When it's a
Yeah.
final and then it's decided by something like a penalty shootout, it's hard. I think in the previous rounds, as earlier stages of competitions, okay, penalties I can understand them, but for me personally, in the final, I think they should play a little bit longer. So I would extend the extra time. Just you're hoping to get a winner on the pitch without having that element of too much luck. I think penalties, a lot of luck's involved.
Yeah.
That deciding a major competition final, I don't like that so much. And it happens in other sports a lot as well. They have, like in cricket, a super over where like one over will decide a 50 over match, which has been played through a whole day. And just one over at the end can decide it. And I understand there has to be a conclusion to the match. So yeah, it's difficult. I can understand, that there needs to be a conclusion. So just for me, maybe in the final, I would make extra time each way 30 minutes. So just to make it a little bit longer and give the team. They used to do this golden goal thing as well. So you just keep playing until someone scores. So maybe if after 30 minutes no one scored, you go on for another 30 minutes unless somebody scores within that 30 minutes. I don't know. Just like I say, it's an opinion thing on what everyone's got different opinions on what they think that should be.
Yeah. It's a fun conversation to have. It's fun. Either way, like if they decide to make changes one day, I'm like, all right, I'm all for it. Because I do understand both sides of the argument, and I'm just, for me, I lean towards, I want to see chaos and when
it's other teams involved, like I don't mind seeing penalties, but it's just like when it's your team, and like for us, we've seen some like heartbreaking losses in World Cups and European Championships for our team, England. So like it's been some really just recently, as this summer, we lost in a European Championship final against Italy on penalties. So there's many incidences right back. I can remember when I was younger, the 1996 European Championships, where we lost some penalties there as well. So like, there's been many incidents of losing the penalties. So it's a really heartbreaking way to lose. And yeah, I think maybe for finals, especially maybe semi-finals and finals, they should look at maybe making extra time a little bit longer. But yeah,
I agree, man.
Yeah, in terms of Chelsea and Liverpool's game, same as you. Obviously not too bothered about who wins. Ideally, we've got a big thing. Obviously, being in America is a little bit different for you, but for us here, being in London, Chelsea's like a major rival, along with Tottenham. Chelsea and Tottenham are two major city rivals here, so we don't want them winning.
Right, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, don't really care who wins that much, but I'd rather Chelsea didn't win. And majority of Arsenal fans that live in London would say that to you. It's just because they're in the same city as us. A lot of friends, family.
That's
That's
right. That's right.
but for me, my brother supports them as well. So like even more reason I don't want them winning. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I do this triple A show with my brother and my cousin who's a Liverpool fan. So they're going to be excited for their game. And yeah,
That's gonna be a hell of a chat afterwards.
yeah, in that situation, like I say, it's a hard one, like if Tottenham play Chelsea, it'd be like, all right, we'd rather Chelsea to win because we don't like Tottenham more than Chelsea, but we hate
Yeah,
Chelsea
yeah.
too. So like, if Chelsea are playing Liverpool, we'll be supporting Liverpool. And yeah, I think Liverpool are the favourites. I think definitely that they're in really good form. We've seen they're playing really well, winning so many games in the Premier League, Champions League. They beat Inter Milan away last week quite comfortably, and they're looking good at the moment. So I'd say they're favourites, and I think they'll win. Yeah, I hope they win. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's see how that goes. And yeah, looking back now for our situation in Premier League, next game is Wolverhampton. And before we go into prediction for that and your thoughts on that game, I just wanted to ask you about team selection. So we know that Emma Smith Rowe came in for Martinelli, as Martinelli was suspended, but he's due back from his suspension now. So if you were to bring him back into the team, who would it be to replace, or would you leave him on the bench?
I think you have to play him, and when I say him, I'll say Martinelli, and you have to play Emil Smith Rowe, especially after the match that he had replacing Martinelli. So, and Martinelli was playing, spectacularly outside of, the red, the two yellows that gave him the red. So, I think we should give Lacazette a break and start Martinelli in his place. Just because I kind of part of me is I want to see Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Martinelli. Like I think that's like our Fab Four, like our young guys just all on the field at the same time together would just be spectacular to see. I don't know how tactically that would work. Like I know like Martinelli has, he's played some up the middle, right? Center forward or striker, whatever you want to call it. Like I know in FIFA, I played him as my backup to Aubameyang. Like back when I played with Arsenal, it would be Aubameyang, and then I would rest him with Martinelli, like because he's just a scorer, right? So I don't know. We'll see. I think, and then I did hear Arteta speak well about Smith Rowe playing every single position, right? Like playing center, playing on the out wide. So I don't know. I would say I would like to see those four young guys up front. Give Laka a break. It's not like I wouldn't say it's because even though he's not scoring, I wouldn't say like he's being benched for poor play. But these young guys are just like they're every time they you put them on the field, Smith Rowe's scoring, Martinelli scoring, Saka scoring, Odegaard's just passing everybody. Like I think they just need to all be. And I wish we had extra cup games or something else to kind of like trial run it or whatever. But I think it's starting to be crunch time. Let's just give it a go, man. Fuck it. What do you feel?
Sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Why not give it a go? It's a case where you can change it up. So if you put Martinelli up front, it's not going too well. You can bring Lacazette on, or there's Pepe as an option as well. It's good to have these options. And I think with Lacazette not scoring recently, as you said, it might be good to give him a little break. Hopefully it goes well with Martinelli up front, and then we're winning the game, bring Lacazette on. Maybe he'll get a goal that'll help his confidence. But I think Martinelli should be given the chance down the centre now.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on fire for us, so he has to come back into the team. In recent months, he's probably been the best player along with Saka. And as you said, you can't drop Smith Rowe after that performance, scoring a goal and playing so well. So you got to look at who's in the worst form out of the players in that team. And for me, that's Lacazette. So I would definitely be benching him and giving Martinelli the chance. But I don't know what Arteta will do. It's a big call for Arteta. You can see all the different sides to the argument. You can see why he would want to keep Lacazette in. As I say,
Mhm.
Lacazette does do a lot of good work with a link-up play and off the ball. But I think Martinelli can do all of that, and he can provide more of a threat in terms of scoring goals and that pace as well. The pace, as you're saying, to have him, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Odegaard, feeding them, that would be amazing. As we've seen as well, like Partey is really good at getting the ball up to them, Saka as well. So you have them feeding that pace that we have in the team. I think it would do really well. But it depends on what Arteta thinks is the best situation for the Wolves game and how Wolves are going to play. I think away from home, especially though, by having that pace in the team would work really well for us, catching teams on the break. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see. It's good to have these options. Pepe's another one. He came on against Brentford. Looks good, lively. Hopefully he'll get into some good form now as well. And if you get Lacazette into some good form as well, you got Pepe firing, Martinelli, Saka, Emma Smith Rowe, Odegaard. Then you've got a lot of good options there, and you can change things up during games. And as you said, some games rest one player, give another one a chance. And yeah, it gives us a lot more going forward. In terms of the game itself now, so what's your thoughts on the game and prediction?
Um. So I know I mentioned last week how like against Brentford it was basically like a grudge match, like because they took it to us in the first game of the season, and then we were just kind of hopefully chomping at the bit to bring it to them, and I think we did. I think our boys answered the call. So I
Did you
think
see
this is going to kind
Lacazette's
of be,
post?
huh?
Did you see Lacazette's post?
Yeah, he basically took exactly what that kid Tommy said, like just to kick about, having to kick about with the lads or something like
Yeah.
that. Like yeah, like they were, they remembered how they felt, and even Arteta said like I want the boys to remember how they felt during this match. Don't dwell on it too much. I mean, there's always a fine line, right, between like holding a grudge and then just kind of maybe thinking too much about that and not enough about like executing. But yeah, you want to like, I mean, these guys embarrassed you. Like, remember that and flip the script on them. Yeah, so I love Lacazette for that. I thought it was funny. I mean, it's just good banter. Like he understands, social media. So I think it's gonna be kind of the same way. I think Wolves are gonna feel, especially after like that nonsense about like the way Arsenal was celebrating, the way how Neves described Arsenal celebrating after the match. Although he celebrated a goal against who did they end up scoring against? Like Leicester City, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit too excessively, I would say. Like Leicester City's middle of the table. Like I would talk the same shit back to him. Like, wow, that's a wild celebration. You fighting for top four, but you're celebrating against a mid-table club like that. Um, so yeah, I think there's going to be some kind of like little animosity there on the Wolves end coming into the Emirates. Like, all right, like you saw how they celebrated in our stadium. Like, let's flip the script on them. So I'm kind of hoping, and I feel like we are going to be ready for that intensity, right? Like it's going to, especially, it's right away. It's basically what, a week, 10 days maybe from the last time we played them. So boom, everything is going to be fresh. It might be a little chippy. Hopefully, we can finish the game with all 11 players. So I think it's going to be intense. I don't know how many goals are going to get scored. It might be another 1-0 finish because again, Wolves are a good team. They're real organized and they play well. But I anticipate again our boys being up to the challenge, and again a different challenge. I think we're the Goliath in this match, if you will. Like if you're taking every match as one big game, we kind of went into Wolves maybe a little bit as an underdog, which is why like we celebrated so much. Like we wanted to kind of prove ourselves, and then they got annoyed for whatever dumb reason, and so the flip might be script this the script might be flipped this time around. So I think it's going to be an intense match. I don't know what the final score would be, but if I were to just kind of guess, I'm going to say another 1-0 win in our favor, just because it's going to be so intense. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close match. Again, it's going to be difficult to break them down. Their defense is strong. It's always been one of their stronger points in recent years, that their defense is hard to break down. So I think they'll come keep things tight. look to hit us on the break. So we've got to keep strong, solid, show a lot of attacking intent, but be careful then because they got some players that can hurt us. As we know, they've got class players. So it's about a balance of discipline, keeping the discipline, having enough attacking intent. I think we've done well against them at their place, so we should take confidence from that. It's at our place now, and yeah, if we can get a goal early, and then that forces them to change their game plan, where they'll have to come out at us more, then it could open up and be 2-3-0. You know, it might be optimistic to say 3-0, but I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I think we will get, it'll be tight, but I think we will get the job done. You know, it might not be, the second goal might not come to like late in the second half, but I think that, yeah, 2-0 for me.
I like that. So I'll take that. Like I'll take being wrong, and I just feel like it's gonna be just
You know,
so.
any win will do. Like I said, like 1-0 will do, 2-1 will do. We're at the stage now where it's just about getting the 3 points, you know. But I hope that we can put a really good performance. And in the game at their ground, we were doing well. We were 1-0 up before we went down to 10 men. We were looking quite comfortable. We're looking like we could go on and get that second goal. So I'm hoping this time we get 1-0 up early again. We keep 11 players on the pitch. We go get that second goal, and then we see the game out comfortably, and 2-0. But it's going to be vital. Any win will do, as I say, and just hope we play well and get the 3 points. So then looking at our rivals' games on the weekend, then. So Tottenham's next game after Burnley is Leeds away. Your thoughts on that one?
Leeds away against Tottenham. It'll be hard to predict. Again, Leeds is just 100 miles an hour all the time. They do have a lot of guys injured, so that's why they're struggling this year. I think they're a dangerous side. They do play everybody hard. Rafinha, I think that's his name, is makes me watch. Like, he's a fun player to watch. I don't know. I think it'll be high scoring, and by like 3-2. I don't know who would win. What do you think? Like I'm not really, like, I'm just kind of hoping for results at this point. I think with someone like with a match like that. So I'm not too confident though in like Leeds pulling away a win. So I'm hoping for like a draw.
Yeah, I think Leeds, defensively, they're kind of easy to get at, as we've seen in recent times. Man United got 4 against them. We got against them when we played them back in December. So I think even though they're at home, I think Tottenham should win that one. I think maybe something like 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah.
Then Man United have got Watford at home. Thoughts on that?
Man, it's a lot of grudge matches, right? Like the last time United played Watford was Watford won 4-2 and got their manager fired. Who's the man? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, he got fired, like basically the same day. So we'll see, right? Watford again are one of the weaker sides in the Premier League, but like anybody can beat anybody. So I think it might turn out to be like that Leeds game though, like against United. It'll be close. United will be knuckleheads and give a couple goals back maybe. But I think United ends up winning comfortably. That's another one where I don't feel too confident in either one match. We'll get results that like totally favor us in terms of like the top 4 race. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because but maybe Watford, probably feel a little bit more confident in Watford playing United a little bit tough, just because I think United is mentally weak, and I think they'll bring it to them and hopefully squeak out a win, or if at worst squeak out another draw. I'm hoping for some draws. Like, I would love to see them both lose, but I'm kind of hoping for draws in these kinds of matches, especially this weekend.
Okay, and then there's a big game between West Ham and Wolves. So both teams competing for the top 4. What's your thoughts on that?
Hopefully we can beat Wolves on Thursday. And then for this one, I think, hopefully West Ham can pull off some kind of victory and then completely just knock out Wolves from the race, and then we still have to play West Ham, so then that'll set us up for a nice match against them. But I don't know. Like again, Wolves are just one of those teams. Like the very same week or the week after, we squeaked out a 1-0 win against Wolves. They turn around and just batter Spurs. It's up in the air, man. I think Wolves are a little bit more dangerous than West Ham. So I think, if I was a betting man, I would bet Wolves to pull out the victory. But I'm going to be rooting for probably a West Ham victory there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be a tight game. Could be one of them games where they both cancel each other out. It depends on how West Ham approach it. Maybe the home team, are they really going to go at Wolves? They played really well in some of their big games at home. I saw them playing against Liverpool at home, against Chelsea. Yeah, they play really well. They're a really good team at home. So if they go after them on the front foot, then it could be a good win for West Ham. But it depends. It could be a game where it's tight. Wolves like to keep things tight, so it could end up being a stalemate, like a 1-1. I think that's my prediction for that one. But yeah, it's good.
I would take that. I would take a draw. All these matches, I think I would take draws.
Yeah, dropping points for our rivals, that's the main thing that we want to see. So yeah, let's see. The good thing is that after we beat Wolves, all being well, be nice and confident that we're going to beat them. We got this weekend off, as we know we're due to play Liverpool, but because they're in the Carabao Cup, so we're not playing this weekend. So we can kick back, watch the other teams, hope some of them, as you're saying, if they don't lose, they at least drop points by drawing. So yeah, we can then have a really good weekend without even playing. I mean, yeah, hopefully come next week we're in an even better position for getting the top 4. As I say now, we are in a really good place, and it's like in our hands. So we don't even have to worry too much about what the other teams do, as long as we keep winning our games. But obviously, it would help us if other teams are dropping points, and will make it more comfortable for us. So it's gonna be really exciting to see how this weekend goes. First of all, how tomorrow goes. As we're saying, some big games tomorrow night in the Premier League and the Champions League. And our game on Thursday, then weekend Premier League games and the Carabao Cup final. And I look forward to discussing it all with you on next week's show. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you later. And come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. Please, everyone, remember to subscribe, like, and share.